time is now, and this is your moment. To find your place in the sun.
A lot of people look at us as robots or just out doing a job, but everything we see and do affects us just like it does everybody else.
A lot of problems with first responders and veterans is that now we're in a battlefield that's very different.
I've lost more friends to suicide than I did in combat, and it really hurts.
When you push the human envelope to those maximum extents, physically, psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually, and then you pull that plug, nothing prepares you for the silence. Nothing prepares you for that void.
You can't come that close to death without it having some effect on you.
I'll never forget my wife telling me, you know, you're not the same Brett that I married.
What War Horses does is it puts you in that environment to, in essence, look in the mirror. But that mirror's that horse. And that horse is going to tell you where you're at.
You got to relax. You got to calm down. You got to slow your mind down and just think about this one thing, controlling that horse.
The first thing we do before we get on a horse, we breathe. To let go of everything. Let go of everything in your head. If I don't let go of everything, I cannot be present with the horse.
It's magic. I just started crying. It was the first time in my life that I literally let everything go.
Compassion, generosity, love, all of these things trickle back into what it is to be a human being.
It's completely changed me.
All the confidence I had lost, it started coming back working with these horses. They've given me my life back.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
Everything stated on WTF Nation Radio is to be considered the opinion of the person that stated it, and not an official representation of WTF Nation Radio or U.S. Army WTF Moments.
Price does not include tax, title, or license. Some assembly required. Each item sold separately. Batteries not included. Objects in mirror are closer than they appear. If conditions persist, contact a physician. Individual results may vary. Keep out of the reach of children. Avoid prolonged exposure to direct sunlight. Keep in a cool, dark place. And
please enjoy the show. Shots. In a very long time, my mic was muted. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is off just swimmingly. Anyway, what I was saying was, welcome everybody to Friday Night Freedom. My name is KOZ, and up there is Pooky, and this is WTF Nation's presentation of Friday Night Freedom. And I was also saying that this is the new permanent setup that I have, and I'm really happy with it. It's going to take some growing into. So if I have some snafus or whatever, then it's just me learning how to use everything, because I don't broadcast every day. But here we are. Okay, I think we got it now. All the lines are live, so this is working. How you doing, Pookie?
Oh, same old, just living a good old life, just minding my business and staying out of everyone else's.
Before I realized that I was talking and nobody but myself was hearing me, we have a hello from Christopher McCready. He says, "Good morning, troops from Ireland. Wear your high-vis belt and keep safe, and don't eat yellow snow." Full of advice, really, really good advice. Thank you, Christopher. Thank you, Christopher, for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. Hope everything's going well over there in Ireland. Oh my gosh, we got a lot of folks here. This is great. Friday night. Let's get this thing started, man. What you been up to this week, man?
My weeks go slow because I pretty much live in a retirement.
Okay, not a whole lot of
the Weather Channel, some Price is Right, and I fiddle with some things here and there. I read books, and that's about it.
That's good. That's good. It's kind of a low stress existence, which is awesome.
I tried to do it. Still waiting on my Godzilla poster to show up so I can slap it on a wall next to this painting.
I think you need like a 6-foot inflatable Godzilla.
Oh yeah, I got Mega Godzilla sitting right here with me.
And a copy of Animal Farm by George Orwell.
It's too bad it's not signed.
Yeah, right. So we got, let me see. Oh my gosh, Heath Barlow. Heath Barlow's in jail, but Heath is listening. He can't.
Wait,
huh?
He's in. Okay.
He's in the jail.
You say jail, my brain goes to the legit jail.
like bars jail. You're getting a lot of comments on the beard, and of course it says you're Godzilla. Look at that beard.
You are Godzilla. Look at that beard. Yeah.
So let me do a little bit of housekeeping on the front end of everything. We got an asteroid coming in. An asteroid for the win on December 11th. That's tomorrow.
Please
make a left. Take us out. So where's my housekeeping here? I see the 14th. That's this Tuesday. Michael Jammin, producer and writer Michael Jammin, will be hanging out with CQ and Radar, the Pop Culture Warrior. On Pop Culture Warrior, Michael has been writing for television since 1996. I ETS'd in 1996. And he has many shows under his belt. Just Shoot Me, Tacoma FD, Rules of Engagement, and Beavis and Butthead are only a few of them. So that dude's been at it for a while, and he's got a lot of good stuff going on. Matt Haley is he's a director and writer. Matt Haley will be on Pop Culture Warrior on the 21st, which is a week from Tuesday. To talk about his various superhero-related shows. So that'll be fun. And then we have some breaking news, which didn't happen last night. It actually happened today, an announcement today. It didn't get released for Sergeant's time last night. Good show last night, by the way, Ice. But this article was just published in Army Times. The President of the United States will present medals of honor for 2 soldiers who gave their lives for their comrades and another who fearlessly defended a forward operating base during actions in Iraq and Afghanistan. President Joe Biden will recognize the bravery of these 3 U.S. soldiers during a White House ceremony Thursday. Sergeant First Class Alwyn Cash will receive the award for rescuing teammates from a burning vehicle while ignoring his own injuries in October 2005 near Samarra, Iraq. It's about damn time. Sergeant...
Too long.
It's been too long, man. It's been too long. I mean, the authorization came more than a year ago, and they're just now getting around to presenting the award or actually making it official. Sergeant First Class Christopher Solis will receive the medal for using his body to shield his team and an injured ally from enemy gunfire in the Paktia province in Afghanistan in July of 2018. And the third one is Master Sergeant Earl Plumley. He will receive the military's highest honor for engaging invading insurgents at U.S. base near Ghazni, Afghanistan in October 2013. So that's going to happen and as soon as we get a hold of the video, we're going to broadcast it as it is broadcast here on WTF Nation Radio, and I imagine it'll be on the main page, which is U.S. Army WTF Moments, as well. So we got all the preliminaries out of the way here. See, I like paper. You know, I see Ice. Ice is more advanced than me. He has like 58 monitors, so he's got all of his stuff like in front of him.
If I'm gonna do that, I've got the setup to have that. Like I'm planning on setting it up once I actually get a PC.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have monitor there, one big one up on top of me. You know, so I'm gonna have to put it up.
I've got a monitor tree, and it holds 4 monitors. So I've got 2 27-inch monitors and then 2 24-inch monitors above it. You don't realize how great a 27-inch monitor is until you switch back to a 24-inch monitor. Because you go from a 24 to a 27, and you're like, this is great. But I've got my 24s on top of my 27s. And I'm like, I have to I have to kind of lean in and look sometimes.
My office had, because I was monitoring so much stuff doing IT work, I had one of those monitor trees, but each monitor on there was 27, maybe 30-inch monitor. So it was a huge.
So nice.
It's like zero-G, like lay back and just like watch my monitors just tight, like you know, a boss at that point.
Yeah,
but
I mean, if I'm just working, I can. Let me just set this aside over here. I can sit back like this and just, I can do everything. I'll put the laptop or the keyboard on my lap, and dude, it's so nice. But now I'm spoiled, so I'm gonna go and buy 2 more 27-inch monitors as soon as the price comes down. It's weird because I got both of these for, I think they were $165 a piece, and this was it was before Thanksgiving, and they're Asus. They're nice. They're really, really nice. So I checked after I set up this system, and I'm like, well, I'm going to get a couple more monitors. So I looked at the price, and the price jumped from $165 to like $300 or $299 or whatever. I went to Best Buy to see if they had any deals. They didn't even have any open box deals that were under $299. So I'm going to wait for a little bit. Branko, what's going on? Russell Jenkins, Christopher McCready. I have a question. I follow a lot of U.S. military publications. I read recently an O3 was fired in the Air Force. When they say fired, does that mean moved sidewards or the service is no longer required? It all depends. If he's been fired from a leadership position.
I got fired from a few job titles my time, but never fired. So, I mean, yeah, I mean, military is weird when we say you got fired because you just lost that job title at that point. You get moved somewhere else normally. It's just, hey, sorry.
Yeah, it all depends. I mean, if it was something like, if it was something illegal, like child porn or robbed a bank or something, stole a car, then yeah, he's lost everything. But if he's just a shitty leader, they might not get rid of him. They might just remove him from that leadership position and put him somewhere else.
They're giving an AS3 like they normally do.
Did they say what the O3 did? It's only a captain. I say only a captain. It's a captain. It's like a PFC in the officer ranks. So let me see while we wait. Eric Woolbrecht says hello to all the red legs out there.
Yeah.
So we got the news of the week. The news of the week. It's been kind of crazy as far as the news goes, but Jesse Smollett had his.
How did Chappelle say it? Sommelier.
Juicy sommelier. So I don't have any. I mean, what was this? A couple of years ago, he said that he was assaulted by a couple of white dudes in MAGA hats. They beat him up, tied a noose around his neck, and said, "This is MAGA country," or something. He reported it as a hate crime, and this was in Chicago, I believe. in the middle of the night. It was just weird. It was just, everything about it kind of stunk. So it was proven that this was not the truth, but rather than letting it lie, they actually pressed charges for filing a false police report. So I think the best thing that came out of this, I mean, I think everybody attached to this case kind of knew that things were going to go this direction. I would not have been surprised if they're like, we're just going to dismiss these charges, but no, they found his ass guilty on 5 of the 6 charges. So good. The wheels of justice turned. While slowly, they did turn. But there's memes. There's news. Like in the UK, the news on I think it was the Mirror said that this Jesse, I can't not. My go-to pronunciation of his name is Juicy Smollett. Thank you. Jesse Smollett, who was an actor on Empire. It just says that, with all these things going on, Americans reply with memes. There's been really no reaction, but there's been memes, and there's thousands of them. So I'm just going to show a few here. But Jesse Smollett is a clown, talking about, it's just the fakeness of everything. Believe in something even if it didn't happen. Contaminated water at Hickam? What? Yeah, John Wytrack said that Obama couldn't get him off. He actually called in favors. He was trying to get charges kind of reduced or shuffled to the side or forgotten about, and that didn't work. I'm gonna tell my kids the greatest lie ever was from a guy named Juicy.
I was just reading about that water contamination. I guess a fuel tainted water raises questions about. I have to dig into a little bit more, but that's more of a Army thing actually. This is the military. That's yesterday.
Where's Hickam? Is that Hawaii?
It's Hawaii, yes. Yeah. I'm digging through the news real quick about that, and 2 hours ago, Hawaii state legislator to hold briefing on Red Hill water crisis. I guess it's a big thing, actually. So I guess that is breaking news. Something I might need to dig into a little bit here. Yeah,
I remember when I was stationed in Korea, we had a fuel spill. It was a massive fuel spill, and we ended up having to drink. Our water was actually in these humongous water blivets, massive water blivets.
I was about to say buffaloes.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't the water buffalo. It was just this big, it looked like a huge ass water balloon.
Yeah, it's a bladder pretty much.
Yeah.
That's how I was stationed in Key West for a couple months, close to Mosul, and that's our entire water source with these big old water balloons pretty much.
But yeah, that was a bad deal. I don't exactly know. I think it was the fuel depot was just it leaked or something happened or someone hit it with a damn forklift or some shit like that. But yeah, we low water pressure. You can only shower once a day. Blah 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 blah.
Apparently, the EPA is all involved with it. I'm trying to find the newest on here. Google does not help you very much. Searches for more so.
So our ICE was looking at Twitter, and even his brother Ice-T posted a Smollett thing. He says, "I try not to diss anyone and to keep it positive, but this motherfucker's a clown." It just said, Jesse Smollett claims that he can't be tried because last night while walking home he was murdered. That's beautiful. So Eric Woolbricht is the first one to come out that I've seen that said, go Army, beat Navy. Yeah, we got that Army-Navy game coming up tomorrow.
Did you see that one where it's holding the sign in the background and it says only the Navy goes to Waffle House sober? A little bit in it. I was like,
There's been a bunch of them. I've seen that one before, like in years past. They're funny, man. It's funny to poke fun, but then you get some civilian poking fun at, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, Space Force, or whatever, and then anybody who is either active duty or veteran will, shut the fuck up. Unless you worn the uniform, you can't really talk shit. What's on our website there, William? William C. White says, it's on your webpage. Oh, did they?
Oh, about the Hickam thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, was it really on our cut sheet for tonight?
No, it wasn't. That's actually the first I heard of it. I would have.
It's a big thing. It's going a couple days now. Apparently they suspended training because of this. So now they're having town hall meetings. Knee-jerk reaction kind of thing. Oh crap, we messed up. No, let's inform the public.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying it's okay, but these things are bound to happen. It doesn't matter that it's a military base or not. It happens at gas stations. It happens at, it happens. The shit happens.
Obviously, you've never been to Fort Hood because every other day there was a water boil notice, and we would have stacks of water bottles chilling because you couldn't drink the water. I mean, but that's Texas in general.
I mean, when I lived in Ohio, out of the Army, I had just gotten back from Iraq, and I bought a house in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we're just a few miles from Perrysburg, which is just stone's throw away from Lake Erie. Well, in the summertime, the wind blows from the north or the northeast, the northwest, and it keeps algae in a certain part of Lake Erie, and that's where we got our water from, and it couldn't be remedied. So there was a summer where probably about a month, 3 weeks or 4 weeks, it was just you can shower with it, but don't cook with it, because if you boil it, it's not going to do anything, and you can't treat it with bleach. So don't use your water to cook. And you can go anywhere and get bottled water. They had the water distribution down to a science. It was really, really well put together.
It's weird. You couldn't boil.
You couldn't boil it away. You couldn't treat it with chemicals.
That's weird.
It was. It was strange. I'm like, well, surely there's got to be a chemical you can. I'm like, well, fuck. Let's just not. Let's not put a whole lot of chemicals in the drinking water supply, please.
Iodine water is the nastiest.
It turns it brown. Oh, this is still good to drink. Really?
Wait 30 minutes. Just wait.
So we got Christmas. We got Christmas coming up, and I guess Santa Claus in Colorado kind of caused a stir because he was going to apply for his fucking. Whoops. Let's talk about Santa in just a minute. This was going to be a non-story. I read it and I'm like, okay, yeah, homeowners association just out of control. But this is kind of crazy. This dude right here has and this is in California. This is in La Mirada, California, which is, I think it's south of Los Angeles. He does a National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation display at his house every single year. This year, he kind of went above and beyond. So his display is it is his house. It is his house, and what the story is he was told to take it down because he went. He normally what you're seeing there is a 2-story house. Well, that second story is a facade. It's not real. He built that and put it on top of his house. Painted the shutters green. He completely repainted his entire house to resemble the house in National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I don't remember it being yellow with green shutters though. But that is pretty gaudy. But he has this epic Christmas Vacation display at his house. He repainted the house to resemble the one in the movie, green shutters and all. He even built a fake 2-story facade on top of his house. His HOA wants him to take it down or face fines of $100 per week until it's removed. I read a little deeper into it, so it's like $100 for the first week, $100 for the second week, and I think it's $500 for the third week, $500 for the fourth week, and so on. The dude's got, it's Christmas, dude.
We had something similar like that go down locally around here, where the homeowners association decided that hey, there's lights, we don't like them, da 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 da. So
I know I've seen a couple of stories of some HOAs kind of out of control. Most HOAs are out of control, but they're like, thou shalt not, and it's in the bylaws, put up Christmas decorations before Thanksgiving. Christmas decorations are up between the Thanksgiving Day and the day after New Year's. Then you got to take them down. When I was married, my wife was she was like Mama Christmas, man. If she could have her way, she would put up Christmas decorations after Independence Day and take them off. Valentine's Day.
we don't put them up around here. Just waste of. I think it's just. I think it's a waste of energy, but that's just my personal opinion on it.
Well, I've got. When I had kids. I mean, I still have kids. They're just grown and moved out now. But when the kids are around, man, I really got into decorating the house and making everything. Christmas music playing at a low volume all the time. We were a very big Christmas family. And even my daughter's like, "Dad, you going to put up the tree this year?" And I'm like, "No, I got no one to share it with." So, Kelly, Lacey. I want to say Lacey. This is one reason I will never live in an HOA. It's really hard unless you buy property and build your own house. It's really hard, especially here in the Dallas area, to find a house that's not in an HOA.
If you live in any suburban area, you're 99% of the time forced into an HOA, which agitates me because I just wish I could be like, hey, I'm not going to pay your fees and I don't want any of your crap and just leave me alone. But you can't do that most of the time. And I don't really understand how HOAs actually have the ability to tell me what, and because pretty much my entire childhood we lived in an HOA. Like if you put a lawn gnome in your front yard, and some of them I used to call them HOA Nazis. They would just walk around. Oh, you got a lawn gnome, you're fined $50. What? It makes no sense to me at that point. But
no, I don't necessarily agree with them. I had a house. I lived in Burleson, Texas for a little bit, and the house that was the only house that I lived in that had an HOA, and it wasn't too bad. We were like the third or fourth house in this entire subdivision, so it was kind of cool. And we didn't have a quorum yet, so all the rules were dictated by the developer. Once I think we were 70% full, we had to elect a board to be the HOA, and I was there on the front end of it, so I basically copied the bylaws and then modified them. And it was just everything's within reason. Everything's within reason. Just no pink doors. Just don't do stupid crap. Don't park in your front yard. And there wasn't even there were no rules as far as parking in front of your house and stuff. It was really chill. It was really, really chill. But the HOAs have a lot of control because they can fine you. And then when you pay your dues at the end of the year, all that goes towards your dues. But if you have any fines outstanding, it goes towards your fines first. And then your dues come up short. You follow me?
What's the worst thing? Can they evict you off your property if you don't pay your...
They can put a lien on your house. If you're so far behind. That's jacked up.
That's insane. Okay. That's like taxation is theft borderline at that point. But No, it's like one of them things where, like, you could, like, I know HOAs hold election processes and stuff like that. That's one of them things where it's just like, you don't like the way your HOA is working, just become an active member of your HOA.
That's why I got in on the front end. That's why I got in on the front end and got all the board members to go, let's not just be assholes about this. You know, these are people's houses. And we had to collect dues, and there had to be some kind of a fund collection because the whole development, we had 2 swimming pools, a huge ass playground, so there was maintenance required. Yes, we had sprinkler systems and lighting systems installed. So all of that, that costs money. And that's basically what the money went for. It was cheap. It was like $250 a year for every homeowner, and that covered 2 swimming pools, sprinklers, lights, and the groundskeeping just for all the common areas. It was nice. It was cool.
Yes, they're always run by Karens because they're the only ones that can sit around all day and walk around a neighborhood. They take the active. I'm just going to say that. I mean, a guy who works 9 to 5 is going to be actively participating in the HOA at that point. That's the shitty part about it. I don't know how we went down this rabbit hole, but
well, we started with this rabbit hole because of this guy in California with his Griswold family Christmas art display of his house.
Set up all the lights you want and annoy the shit out of your neighbors.
Yeah, we had no restrictions on flags. No restrictions on flags, no restrictions on any kind of decorations. If you want to decorate for Hanukkah or Kwanzaa or Christmas or Halloween, do it, dude. The bigger the better. I think the last year that I lived in that neighborhood, there was actually contests on like the best display, and it was voted on by the residents. It was awesome, man.
Do that. That's cool. Like waive their fees for the year or something for being the coolest on the block or something like that. I mean, that makes sense. Like in my neighborhood, I mean, we only pay $25 a month for ours, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Not a month, a year or something like that. It's really minimal. And all it is just to keep the street lights on. That's the gist of it.
William White says he put up a FU-46 flag and he was told to take it down.
That's funny. But I'm just glad I don't live in one of those crazy ones because I've lived in some of them where it's just like little old lady walking her dog around the entire neighborhood all day long.
Taking notes. If I had to move into an HOA neighborhood, I would, if I would like the house, I would like, okay, I like this house. But before I put an offer on the house, I'm going to walk around, I'm going to talk to some neighbors and say, tell me about your HOA. I'm going to pick the ugliest house. I'm going to talk to that neighbor. I'm like, have they ever given you a hard time because your trash cans are out in front of your house, or they're visible from the street, from the curb of the street, or how crazy are they?
I just want a couple like hens running around in the backyard because they're like really good pest control. They're like the best natural, pest control. 3 or 4 hens, no problem. Set a pen up. I'm not allowed to do that. But I had a neighbor in my neighborhood who had it sounded like a dog pound anytime you go. He had like 50 dogs in his house. I was like, you let that, but I can't have 4 chickens because my chickens make noise. I don't understand it, but
right.
That's HOA. That's the way HOAs work.
Unfortunately, it's not even a necessary evil. It really isn't a necessary evil. It's an evil that just exists and it is tolerated. And until it's not tolerated, it'll continue.
I mean, in a sense, it makes sense because it helps keep property value up. That's the idea behind it. You don't want your neighbor bringing the whole junkyard in and laying it all over the place. But I get it, but I don't like it.
Captain Windbacon said, first world problems.
That's 100%.
How many HOA? I mean, we have a listener who's in Ireland. Do you have a home HOA? When we say HOA, it's homeowners association. Our listener from Ireland. Do you guys have something like that in Ireland, or do you guys just take care of your shit and it doesn't take a committee to make you take care of your shit? I'd be interested to know what folks do over in the UK or up in Canada.
Oh, I hear Ireland's pretty nice. I've always wanted to go over there and spend a couple of years just chilling out, but never got around to doing it.
Hey, it's not too late. I know you don't like to fly, but
Oh, I mean, I could take a boat.
you could take a boat, or you can take an Ambien, get on the plane, and then wake up in Ireland.
Do like I used to. I used to hate flying in the Army. I would take an Ambien and fall asleep, but then I'd make sure I'd slap a nicotine patch on because, woo, we want to talk about awesome dreams.
You know, when I left Iraq, they were asking if anybody needed help going to sleep on the flight, because it was the longest flight. It was like 11 or 12-hour flight from, where did I fly? I flew from Kuwait City direct to D.C. Did we go to D.C.? No, it was Detroit. Maybe we stopped off in D.C. We did stop off in D.C. and just change planes, and then I flew to Detroit. But they were asking if anybody wanted some help, quote-unquote help, falling asleep. And I'm just like, I don't think so. I've never taken Ambien or Valium or anything like that, so...
I won't take it ever again, but I have taken it, and it works unless you don't fall asleep, and then shit gets weird. That's all that.
Michael Serminski comes back and he says how it worked when I lived in Italy is you had to keep the outer appearance of the house historically correct. I'm down with that. That's cool.
That's legit. I know downtown Fredericksburg, Virginia, there's some houses down there. You got to keep the house within
colonial. It's all colonial.
Well, no, they have to. It's a historic committee. They have to maintain the houses based on the way they looked at that point. So there's these old hardwood floors from the 1700s. There's like gaps in them and stuff like that. You just got to deal with it. You can't throw like laminate over top of it or anything. They have to stick close to, which kind of irritates me because I've been in a couple of them houses during the middle of winter. I'm like, your house is cold as hell.
It's drafty.
You can't do nothing about it. But, I mean, history, right? History.
Cool. So let's get to the strapped. Well, Santa Claus applied for a concealed carry license in Colorado, and it kind of caused a bit of a stir. This is kind of funny because a photo of Santa getting his concealed handgun permit in Colorado caused a stir on social media. El Paso County Sheriff's Office posted the photo themselves. Hundreds of people. When I see like a big municipality, and then I say hundreds of people, I'm like, yeah, okay, it was just a bunch of people bitching. Hundreds of people commented questioning the timing and sensitivity of the post, and they questioned using a children's figure to appear to support handguns.
Can I flip this argument real quick? Because, I'm neither a Republican or a Democrat. I find myself kind of neither of them. Like, I'm way away. But wasn't it the Republicans just recently, like, complaining about, like, what was it, a Muppet getting a vaccine?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, spray or whatever you want to call it. But
the coof spray.
So, I mean, propaganda is propaganda.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. If it's good for this way, it's good for that way, right? Christopher McCready hit me back. He says very few HOAs in Ireland. Privately run estates may have one, but it's not common. My brother lives in an enclosed, gated estate with 15 houses. They have an HOA. Parking is an issue, and all of the houses have to remain in the same decor. That's reasonable. Gotta reach that. That's probably not unreasonable. The ho-ho variant of the coof is coming. Oh, speaking of this, I got my third coof spray today.
Congratulations.
It was one thing I did learn. There was a bunch of speculation of what is this booster, and it's not a booster. I actually talked to the pharmacist, and she told me that it's nothing different than the first two shots that you got. It's just the third. Rather than calling it a booster, they should just call it the third shot, because there's no formulary differences between 1, 2, or 3.
This is exactly the same thing.
It's exactly the same thing.
Okay. I'm not gonna get into that. I don't want to get us zucked tonight.
Okay, William White says no effects from the third shot. Not yet. Arm's a little sore, but that's about it. We'll find out what happens.
Her first one, she finally broke down to get it because my sister has a child on the way, so she was like, I gotta fly soon. So, she's just worried about it and whatnot, and she got it. It put her down for 2 days. 2 days straight, she couldn't even leave the bed.
Whoa. Yeah, my daughter, and I was kind of shocked when she told me when I went up to Montana to go see her. She's 23 years old, and she's had number 1 and number 2 of the fizzy shot, Pfizer, and she got the number 3rd coof spray, or the 3rd coof spray, the modern one. And I'm like, oh, you're mixing and matching. Yeah, I'm just, I told her, just, if you would have asked me, I would have recommended not doing that, just because you're a young person. The reason why she got it is because she does contact a lot of people, and she doesn't want to, she's sick of people giving her a hard time of just,
don't stop. I just wish people would stop pressuring each other into that. It's like, that's a personal choice. I mean, you can flip the scenario around in multiple different scenarios, and people would lose their minds if certain individuals acted the way they do about this. Then, you get what I'm saying. I don't want to bring up other topics, but I mean, just take one subject and switch it with the next and apply the same. And people would lose their minds because you're saying things like that, dude.
So Russell Jenkins says he had slight anal leakage as a side effect, but I'm old and that's normal. William White says New York State is mandating it, but the courts it's in court, so it's not really. I mean, we actually had a ruling. Not a ruling, because that sounds more judicial or anything, but my company has ceased enforcing what the mandate used to be, which is really cool because we were going to lose a couple of really good engineers, a couple of really good pilots, and a couple of really good technicians. Yeah, right. Hey, dude, look, dude, a broke tooth. Let's force him to go to the dentist.
There you go.
No shit.
Yes. I mean, I tell people this all the time. It's like, look at this scenario and visualize this or another random scenario that might fall close to it. And then apply these things from the first scenario to the second scenario and see how much of an asshole you sound like.
Right.
That's
yeah.
I mean,
Put the shoe on the other foot and then find out how crazy that sounds. So anyway, as far as back to the strapped Santa story, the sheriff's office issued a media response saying that they intended to highlight their staff in the concealed handgun permit office by sharing statistics. And they said they did not intend to be insensitive. To them, Santa correlates with the month of December, and they said that they thought the photo would help to recognize their hard-working staff. They said it was also a chance to share a link and information to their website for people requesting all the information possible on how to get a concealed handgun permit. So something completely innocent got taken completely out of context, which hardly ever happens.
not these days. No, never. Never.
Never. So you got all your Christmas shopping done?
Actually, I didn't.
Uh-oh.
I mean, my family's not really big on the gift giving thing. Last year, I bought some candy and some usefulness, and this year, I just kind of stepped back. I was like, I've been buying like security cameras and stuff for the house and this and that, and I was like, you know what, just Mom bought her a new pan set. We're just buying our own Christmas presents at this point. So it's just like, just sit around and just recognize the holiday as it was, and screw the capitalism behind it, or the commercialism. I didn't mean to say screw the cap. Yes, that was a wrong word. And anyone knows me, some of my friends listening probably just cringed a little bit when I said that. But it's a lot of people were actually. I was reading articles about that. A lot of people were starting to opt out on the spending because it's getting too expensive at this point.
Everything is really expensive. John Wyattrack, my gosh, I hope you're doing okay. He says, I caught tongue cancer 3 months ago, and now I've got 1 week left of treatment. Awesome, dude. I hope everything goes good.
Oh yeah.
What I'm wondering, curiosity, do you dip, or did you dip, or smoke, or whatever? I don't know, man. I got a guy that I work with that constantly dipping, man. I'm just wondering, and he said he's done it ever since he was a teenager.
No, I dipped up until I don't know when it was. I think it was my first wife. I kind of stopped doing it because the nastiness of the teeth.
Yeah.
But she smoked, I smoked, so I started smoking, and I picked it up and
traded one thing for another.
Yeah, well, I mean, she could tolerate the smoke, she just couldn't tolerate the nastiness, And I was like, yeah, well, I get you on that. And
this guy that I'm talking about at work, when we're in close proximity, we have to mask up. If you're going to be working close to somebody, you got to wear a mask. And he has this mask. I think he's had it on his desk for probably about 3 weeks. But he's got this big brown stain in the front, like where his lips are. It's all it's just nasty.
You used to get like that. I'd stick it right at the base of my lip right there, and I would just get this nasty, and I'd have to scrub my teeth for like 15 minutes to get rid of it. And that's another reason why I just hated the way my teeth looked at that point.
Yeah.
I switched to this like non-tobacco nicotine pouch thing, and it's been working really good for me. I've stopped smoking as much as I was smoking almost 2 packs a day. I've cut back to about a half now.
Holy crap, that's excellent, dude. Yeah,
unless I drink and then I go back to my 2-pack habit.
If I have a couple of beers, I do like the nicotine, so I do have a vape. But I haven't had an analog cigarette since 2011 or 2010, so I'm good. Oh, look, you got a cigar.
That's my biggest. I will never give that up. I don't care. I love my cigars.
Oof. I have an uncle who smokes a pipe, and I remember as a child going to his house, and it smelt really, really good. And we were always telling him, Uncle Dale, smoke a pipe. It smells good. And now that I'm an adult, I'm just like, oh, fuck. Granted, pipe tobacco has probably got a lot fewer chemicals in it than cigarettes.
I don't know about that, but some of them pipe tobaccos are some of the sweetest smelling tobacco you'll ever smell burning.
Yeah.
Like they're just was it the Captain Black's is probably my favorite smell of. I used to smoke a pipe too, and I quit that habit a long time ago because that'll tear the whole sides of your cheeks, and it just burns your mouth. The tip of your tongue's all jacked up.
Oh, doing the pipe tobacco? Because you're getting it directly from. You're lighting that bowl up, and it's just right into your mouth.
You don't inhale on it. You just puff on it. You just puff, 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 puff. And you it's not even inhaling on it, absorbing through your saliva glands and stuff like that. It's just like you'll get a head buzz. Like, no, that's the same with a cigar. That's why I love cigars so much, because
So you don't. I'm not experienced in cigars. You don't inhale cigar smoke.
Oh no.
No. Okay.
Well, sometimes I will. I'll get a good hit it, but that'll give you a head rush like no one else's business. But that's just straight tobacco. Straight tobacco at that point. Huh?
See, I'll be in Canada for a month after Christmas, and I think that Havana, those Cuban cigars.
The best cigars are from Dominican Republic. I don't care what anyone says.
Well, because they're made by Cubans in the Dominican Republic with better stuff.
I mean, after the embargo, all the good tobacco cigar companies moved to the Dominican because they could sell, and you're gonna get a good cigar, get it from the Dominican Republic at that point.
So I started this conversation with Christmas gifts. Do you have any gifts that you still need to give? And I was surfing around the internet, and this is not a sponsored spot. I've never talked to these folks, but here's an idea. This is a veteran-owned business. It's called Got Your Six Coffee. I'd never heard of them before. I mean, everyone's heard of like Black Rifle Coffee. That's the big one. They're actually going to go public.
Yeah.
I mean, they do NASCAR sponsorships and everything, so they're extremely successful. Veteran-owned company, but I ran across this veteran-owned company. It's called Got Your Six Coffee. They don't do the K-Cups yet. They just have like whole bean coffee. So if you if you're looking for a last-minute gift, Got Your Six Coffee out of Springfield, Missouri, is dedicated to assisting our veterans and many others who put their lives on the line day in and day out to serve and protect their fellow Americans. Our mission, the company says, is to serve those who serve. It also explains through the sale of freshly roasted, award-winning gourmet coffee and amazing relationships with incredible companies, sponsors, and partners, we can do just that. As CEO and veteran Eric Hadley of Got Your Six Coffee says, quote, we use coffee as a catalyst to support nonprofit organizations that are helping first responders, veterans, healthcare professionals, and their families. We are lending a hand out to the community. It's about coffee, but then again, it's not about coffee. It's about so much more. Got Your Six Coffee products are sold both online and in retail establishments. The company uses its profits to support EMTs, law enforcement, firefighters, veterans, and their families through various nonprofit organizations. We rely on great coffee and hard-used gear to make this a reality. And it explains it better on its website. So if you go to gotyoursixcoffee.com, you can find out more about that. And I kind of want to make this a thing. Anybody out there listening to us, if you've got a veteran-owned company that can do good, or may just might have a product that we'll all like, send us a message on the radio page at WTF Nation Radio, and I'll look into them. Maybe get them on the air. Maybe they can donate some merch, and then we can give it away for free. So if you guys have a veteran-owned business or something that you are a customer of, you can send us a message, and we will get them on the air or something, and try to promote their stuff. Yeah, the Got Your Six Coffee. I just ran across that while surfing. So I don't Death Wish coffee. Oh my gosh. That's some extremely high caffeine content coffee right there. I see Pookie jumping up and down. Either that means he's got a vibrating seat, or he's got to take a break. Okay, It is. That's very funny, dude. It is about time for a break. I didn't get to some of the stories, so that means we have more stories for the second hour, and this is going to be fun because we're going to talk about, among other things, a tax that actually got suspended in California. I had to read that story about 4 fucking times to figure out is this the truth or not. So let's take a short break, and we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Hang tight.
WTF Nation Radio. WTF Nation Radio.
This is Randy Couture, and you're listening to WTF Nation Radio.
WTF Nation Radio.
I got to figure out what these buttons like really do. What I hear in my ear is not what I'm. It's not what's going out on the stream. So this is really weird. So Captain Wayne Baconator, before we go to break, or before we went to break, said he's going to go grab another Sloppy Joe because those motherfucking sandwiches are awesome. Those are good. Those are really good, easy to make, just delicious sandwiches. So I always add jalapenos and then cheese, usually the square cheese, just American cheese. He says he fries up some onions and puts that on top and with like cheddar cheese. That's delicious. I'm sorry if I'm making people hungry, but that just sounds awesome.
It's like we just got one of those it's an 8-quart Ninja Foodie. It's like the pressure cooker kind of like Instapot kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I made whole chicken. This pretty much. It took me 25 minutes.
Exactly, dude. I can do like a whole pork shoulder in less than an hour.
I don't know why I've never had that in my life, and I really regret not having one of those my whole entire life.
I mean, there's the old grandma style pressure cookers and stuff.
The ones that sound like they're a bomb about to blow.
Right, but then they have the more electrically controlled or electronically controlled, the more safe ones. And that's what I have. I have an Instapot, and that's just awesome. I make French onion soup, like 6 quarts of French onion soup in probably an hour and 15 minutes, and it's delicious, dude. It's just so good. I'm gonna have to
get that recipe off of you.
Yeah, it's good. It's a legit. And if you like clam chowder, there's a clam chowder recipe that I have perfected, and it's so good, so good. Do you like clam chowder?
I eat it about maybe once or twice a year. I'm not like. It's like a delicacy to me, so I don't really overdo it with it. So like one bowl here and there, but
it's not expensive as far as all the ingredients goes. And of course, my Instapot and the sizes vary. Mine's a 6-quart, and it just makes, and it's just me, so I've got enough to eat whatever I want to eat on right now, and then I'll freeze the rest. And I've got 5 or 6 good sized bowls of clam chowder, and it's so damn good. I don't do the red sauce. I do the creamy clam chowder.
Is it Boston's the red one?
I think Boston's the red one, and then there's the other.
Yeah, the New England clam chowder, that's like kind of like the white sauce kind of.
New England, yeah, there you go, New England. So and there's like people getting into fights over that. What's better, the red one or the white one?
I mean, it's both good to me, but
I don't think I've ever had the red, so I can't. Dublin Coddle. What is Dublin Coddle, Christopher? Can you Google that for me, Mr. Pook? Dublin, Coddle.
I'm on it.
Minestrone soup is really good too.
Oh, it's like a kind of like a bangers and mash kind of thing, I guess, but with potatoes. Hold on, let me see this. The traditional Dublin. I should know this because it's. Trying to. Why do I need a whole dang? Okay, use sausages, thin cut like scallop potatoes, bacon, carrots.
You had me at bacon.
Yeah, bacon, carrots. So it's kind of like something I make on a regular. Actually, I don't even really knew it was called that. This is like a little family thing that we do. Is we just thin slice potatoes and fry them up with some onions and some sausage like that.
Yeah.
But
we've got a lot of responses in the chats for bacon.
Bacon.
As far as chili goes, I don't want to do that quickly. I really like. Working outside, I'm going to make that in the slow cooker. That is a slow cooker meal. I want to smell it all day long and then watch it, or eat it while watching football or something at the end of the day on a cold day.
I made a batch in mine with the pressure cooker to get it done, right? Because, like I said, I live in a retirement home. Everyone wants to eat dinner by 2:00 in the afternoon, but I had that done. But then once it was done, I threw it in the slow cooker mode, and I waited till the evening where I like to eat, and I had the slow cooker. It sat and sat.
It's sat. All the flavors combined. It's maybe a little thicker.
Yes.
So here we have,
Yes.
where is it? It's soup weather. John Wytrack said it's soup weather. Guess what, John? I turned on my air conditioner today. It was nuts. It was 84 degrees today here in the Dallas Metroplex. Also, speaking of the Dallas Metroplex, the CQ's on the road. If you guys ever follow the CQ's, where in the world is CQ? He was in Arlington, and I feel a bit jaded. We could have hooked up, man. I'd buy him a beer or a coffee or whatever, and he's right down the street. And I didn't even know.
He's secret like that.
He's like super secret CQ. Baconator says it's 7. Please say that again.
No, that I said CQ's always all around. He's everywhere. Sometimes I've seen him in weird places. I'm like, how'd you get there?
He just appears. He teleports too. So he teleported to the Dallas Fort Worth area, kind of like right in the middle in Arlington, which is right between Fort Worth and Dallas, and he published a shot of him in the esports arena, which is in Arlington. It's the largest esports complex in the United States.
Love to go to something like that.
But they don't. But I looked at what's going on there. Maybe he just went there to take a look. There was nothing going on. So
I mean, I know Halo Infinite went live with his campaign today, I think, and everyone's talking about that. I ain't got around to doing that.
What's that?
Halo. Remember Halo? Their new it's Halo Infinite is the new one. They went live with their multiplayer. It's free to play multiplayer, so anyone who wants to play it, hit me up. Yeah, if you like playing it. But,
I know that Halo is a game. I'm not a gamer. I'm not. I try to be. I do play some games, but it's not like the first person shooter type stuff. Halo kind of seems like that. It's a first person.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
Okay, well, good.
But
I saw the gamer guys were doing something, and it was Halo. So I was in their chats, and
that's exactly what they're doing.
So what I was doing was, like, I was talking in their chats, and I was just like putting like random lines from the song Halo. Halo. Who the fuck? Who sings that damn song? But it was just completely not related to anything gaming or whatever they were doing. So, because that's just how I do it. So let's talk about California actually repealing a tax. This surprised the shit out of me. I had no idea that this was a thing. I figured it was a thing that was just, taxes are taxes. But California, of course, has done the legalization of recreational marijuana several years ago.
Oh, I saw this. I saw.
So it is kind of nuts, man. An ordinance suspending San Francisco's cannabis business tax was unanimously approved by city supervisors on Tuesday. San Francisco Supervisor Raphael, what the hell is his name? Mandelman. The ordinance's author said in a statement, suspending the business tax on cannabis will help support legal cannabis retailers as they struggle to compete with illegal cannabis sellers.
They're almost like vaccine doesn't work.
Illegal sellers of cannabis skirt paying these taxes and are able to offer products at a lower cost, which entices customers to purchase their product instead of the legal sellers. I mean, right? That's capitalism, supply and demand. If you can get these things for a lesser price, then yeah, take that risk. And
that's how black markets are formed. Completely off subject for the marijuana thing. New Zealand is talking about like some crazy tobacco law that they're putting in. But I was like, throughout the entire human history, prohibition has worked, right? And has it worked? I mean, you can't even stop drugs from making it inside a jailhouse. Just knock it off. But you go back to the story.
News reports of the tax itself was approved by voters in 2018. So voters approved a cannabis tax in 2018, which ranges from 1% to 5% tax on the gross receipts of cannabis sales. The new ordinance suspends the business tax through December 31st of 2022, so a year. And no, prohibition doesn't work. Prohibition opens doors to black market operations.
Cartels, the whole 9 yards. Don't want to get into that. Don't get me into that.
I mean, look at guns. If you can't legally buy a gun, guess where you're going to buy a gun? If you want one, you're going to get it on the down low. That's a black market. That's buying it from your buddy.
Yeah, that's a lot of criminals wind up with guns in their hands, even though we got these background checks and stuff. Like a law-abiding citizen going to follow those steps to get the gun legally because they can. But if I'm a multi-felon and I want a gun, I'll just hit that black market and I'll get it cheaper than what the regular old Joe is paying for his same markup at that point. Huh?
Okay, a couple of comments here. Texas will be the last state to legalize. They've legalized it medically but the thing is with Texas, it's like this super low THC content for medical.
It's like Colorado with their beer for some reason.
Yeah, the near beer like they had in Oklahoma. It's near beer. So John Wyatrack says 23 or 26% tax in Arizona. That's crazy. Yeah, just go to Home Depot and find somebody in the parking lot and you can buy it.
But here's the thing: if it's recreational use,
William White, I'm going to get with you in a second, William. Hold on a second. Go ahead, Pookie.
No. Okay, I'm seeing this Arizona thing. So recreational, that 25% tax. So if I can grow it legally and make it look like I'm selling it legally, you get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then have a side hustle business under the table where it's just kind of like black market shit. I'm gonna make most of my money off the black market at that point because people don't want to pay that.
Correct.
25. Oh, hey, mate. Taxation theft. Period. I'm done with it.
Here's our obligatory taxation is theft graphic. So the statement says cannabis businesses create good jobs for San Franciscans and provide safe, regulated products to their customers. Sadly, the illegal market is flourishing by undercutting the prices of legal businesses, which is hard for our economy because they're not getting the tax money. And they pay no taxes while subjecting workers to dangerous conditions and consumers to dangerous products. I don't think they really care about that, but let's just continue. Now is the time to impose. Now is not the time to impose a new tax on small businesses that are just getting established and trying to compete with illicit operators. So there was like a sister story to this, saying that people are actually folding up their businesses because of the cartels in California. They're being forced to just give up their businesses. These dudes that are making these businesses in California they pay a lot of money for licensure and buildings and security and everything that goes into and above and beyond just the regular costs of opening up a business to do a dispensary type of business, and they're being forced out of business by cartels, whether the cartels are paying them off or whatever.
By the black market.
Oh yeah.
if I can have my product at 50% of what the market value is, I'm going to dominate that market at that point. Just hate to say it. That's how a free market works.
Either Heath or Ashley, I think it was Ashley posted, she goes, Mississippi voters voted for medical weed, but their wise Supreme Court vetoed it. Or they ruled against it.
Mississippi is some backwoods. I don't even want to get into that. No? I'm a hillbilly through and through, but they got some backward ass thinking. Same with some of these states on the, what do they call it? What's the term?
Bible Belt?
The Bible Belt. Yeah, that's, my brain just drew a blank on that. Some really weird backwards thinking. Like South Carolina was talking about dropping the legal drinking age to 18. I was like, you just raised federally the smoking age to 21, but now you're talking about dropping it down to 18 here.
Oh. It's like that. Who is that guy? What is that guy's name? The black fellow that does all that thing.
I can't remember his name off the. I feel bad because he's like one of the best TikTokers on the face of history at that point.
He's very funny and he doesn't say a word. He just, here we go. They kind of did the same thing in Missouri too. It's sort of legal, but it's also not legal. Or it's decriminalized. I guess what you mean is it's decriminalized.
The federal government's supposed to. Wasn't our all supreme leader supposed to drop the Schedule 1 on that crap up at the federal level? Just these states could start actually funneling their funds into the actual like banks and stuff like that.
To actually use banks as opposed to cash.
Yes. So they got to do crazy money laundering schemes. They got to go to casinos, do all kinds of crazy crap to get their money into the system.
And it might be a portion of what they made. They take $100,000 and money launder it and get $80,000 after it.
Yes, and then the federal government's losing out on so much cash. It's just.
I mean, they're taxing the fuck out of them already, but then they can't use a bank because it's federally illegal.
It's illegal. It's an illegal, illicit fund at that point. Even though you got the cartels dumping thousands of billions of dollars into the bank systems here, but that's a different story at that point.
Okay, Captain Wayne Baconator says you can have a little bit on you, but anything more than an ounce, and you're basically screwed. I'm not going to math on the fly here, but we went to Colorado for a show, the Freedom On Fest in Boulder, Colorado. And of course, we went to a marijuana dispensary just to kind of check things out. And there was a 9-gram, it was called the Party Joint or something like that. I should have pulled a picture of this thing up. And I looked at, okay, if I were to take this Party Joint, 9 grams, back to Texas, what would I be faced with? And I would have been faced with, if I would have been busted with this, I would have faced 9 years in jail. Mandatory 9 years in jail for having a 9-gram joint.
Over a fucking plant.
Over a plant.
That can grow. Is it actually, like, you know how many times I've just been minding my business out hunting in the woods and, doing things, and I'm stumble across it might have been a hemp plant or whatever, but it's still the same pretty much thing. And I'm like, oh, look, there's a plant. Oh, crap. That's
I don't know, dude. If I'm wandering around the woods hunting and I come across a grow, I'm getting the fuck out of there.
Yeah. I'm not talking about like a field or anything. Just a random. It grows naturally out in the wild. I mean,
so let's talk about. Here's another story which may fall under taxation as theft. I'm not sure. But there's stores. There's several of the stores, but the story is about a particular one. Upscale ice cream parlor called Van Leeuwen has been slapped with a $12,750 fine across its New York City locations for not accepting cash. They don't accept cash. Everything is digital. So you have to swipe a card, or you have to like Venmo or whatever. They don't carry cash. They don't carry
This is
cash.
zero cash. So what's wrong with that?
It's a cashless business. They're one of the many city merchants dinged for violating it's a ban on cashless businesses for the last year.
So wait a minute. Cash is the easiest thing to hide funds from. That's the best way, like that and crypto. So you're gonna say, I can keep track of every digital penny that this business is making. The IRS loves that, no?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they finding this business at that point?
There's an explanation, and it's bullshit, but there's an explanation. The city has gone after 23 businesses for these violations. The Department of Consumer and Worker Protection in New York City received 100. Okay, think of how large New York City is. They received 152 complaints about cashless businesses across the city. So far, 16 businesses have been found guilty. Of course, they went to trial and they were found guilty by the City Office of Administrative Trials and Hearings, and they've all collectively faced fines of $23,850. Councilman Kalman Yeager said that the crackdown is unfair. I agree. These agencies weaponize our statutes to torment small businesses in the city. This is about raising revenue for the city. The city received half a dozen complaints about Van Leeuwen's cashless stores since November of 2020. So in the last year, there's been 6. Half a dozen is 6. If you want to do a baker's dozen, that's 6.5. So it's 6. They've had 6 complaints. So there was this investigation, and all of a sudden they're on the hook for $12,000 something in fines. Under the law, stores must accept cash unless they have a machine to convert cash to a prepaid card, and they cannot charge more for paying in cash, is what the statute says. The city council passed the cashless ban in January of 2020, so almost a year ago, as more businesses went cashless to combat the spread of COVID. I mean, because when all this stuff was going down, all this COOF stuff was going down, people are like, okay, how can we stay in business and still be safe? So a lot of these businesses went cashless.
Makes sense. You don't want to be handling money with people's grubby fingers all over it. It makes sense to me.
It makes sense to me, too. Supporters of the ban said cashless businesses discriminate against minors and poor people who do not have bank accounts or credit cards. How many homeless people are going into a high-rent ice cream parlor trying to buy some ice cream?
I just got one question, because you mentioned a couple things. I've been writing it down.
Okay, dude. Yeah, go ahead.
So they first used taxpayer money to run this investigation against these, what you said, 6 businesses?
There was a handful of businesses. This particular business had 6 complaints against it in New York City.
All right, so they're using taxpayer funds to host this investigation.
Mm-hmm.
They throw them through trial, which uses taxpayer money to do, and then they hit them with fines that probably don't even equate to the investigation or the trial. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, yep.
So they're wasting money just to go after people that you can keep track of their money? I'm confused about
I think I've heard a saying is called stepping over a dollar to pick up a dime.
Yeah, that's pretty much the gist of this at this point. Huh? Of course, you said this is New York City, so it doesn't. I mean, that's the epitome of like cronyism in its finest and corruptiveness.
So we were talking about Karens earlier with the HOA. These are the Karens that are complaining. 100. What did I say? 150 complaints. 150 something complaints in New York City. New York City. What's that? 6-8 million people.
That's the most. I think New York is the most populated city in the United States. So it's just take your time and fight homelessness, drug addiction, something like, I know, like last week we were talking about them opening like a needle exchange or something like that. That makes sense to me. This is just a blatant waste of. It's a witch hunt. It's a fucking witch hunt.
So stupid.
I'm getting Forrest Whitaker eye just thinking about this shit. Huh?
My daughter went to New York over July 4th weekend with her boyfriend, and she's just like, it's a great city to visit. I'm glad I'm leaving.
I don't know why anyone would live in that shithole. I'm sorry, that's just my opinion, but like, I can see why so many people. I literally have Forrest Whitaker eye.
Tom Miller says 12 million now in New York City. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
That's insane. But I can see why so many people are fleeing that state. They're moving down here to the south because housing's cheaper, even though they're driving the housing market like crazy up here. They're just fleeing, but then I don't understand. They bring their same ideals with them. They're leaving an area and they're bringing their ideals with them and ruining another area at that point. So
or it's like leaving the Middle East to be a refugee in the United States to escape Sharia law, and then you come back to the United States, or you come to the United States, and then you try to implement a Sharia light within your community. No, fuck no.
I don't. Austin's like that. Oh my God,
Austin is horrible.
Austin was such a beautiful city, and then it just. I don't really get into that one either. That's a different rabbit hole to go down.
Let me see. Richie Torres, councilman for the Bronx, said that the city of New York cannot allow the digital economy to leave behind the 25% of New Yorkers who are unbanked and he threw out this term underbanked. I don't know what underbanked means.
So what you're telling me is pretty much, okay, this is what I'm getting from it. It's the banking cartel that's so prominent in New York City saying, hey, we don't like the idea of these guys not utilizing our banks because they're bypassing the whole system at this point.
Yeah, because they're cash, they're not cash, but they want to use the cards, yeah.
It's digital, like Apple, Samsung Pay, all that kind of crap. It's just bypassing the middleman, the broker at that point.
So Ben Van Leeuwen, who is the Ice Cream Parlor's co-founder, denied the violations, saying that he had not refused cash payments because no one had ever offered it. There was just a sign out there that says, "Just a friendly reminder, we do not accept cash." He said no one had ever asked him to, here, I would like an ice cream cone. Would you take $5? Austin, dude, William White, Austin is definitely the next California. They, unfortunately, they're going down. It's the capital of Texas. It's the capital of Texas, and it's just
Houston is the same way right now. It's just going. I don't know. I feel sorry for some people. Where's that meteorite supposed to hit?
Tomorrow.
Please.
Just bring it. End it. We'll start over. Whoever survives, we have some really resourceful people, especially here at the WTF Nation, and we'll start over. What does underbanked mean? I have no idea what underbanked. I know what unbanked. People just don't have. I've never met a person that doesn't have a bank account.
Let me look at the term underbanked.
We're going to get this real-time definition of what the fuck underbanked means.
The term underbanked refers to individuals or families who have a bank account, but often rely on alternative financial services such as money orders, check cashing services, and payday loans rather than on traditional loans. So you're not using the credit cards that they issue.
Don't snap, dude.
I'm about to lose it. This is because they lack access to convenient, affordable banking services, or because they need or prefer to use alternatives to traditional financial services, such as, I guess, cash. That makes sense at that point.
Cash is fine. Bartering is fine.
I mean, I've yet to walk into. I actually one time walked into a bank with like 10 pounds of silver and said, "Can I exchange this at market rate?" And they looked at me like I was crazy.
Funny you mention that. It's really funny you mention that. Hold on a second. We had, when I was married, we had some gold. We had like physical gold. And we went into the bank and we tried to say, okay, I would like market rate to deposit this to our account. And they're like, we don't do that. Okay. So I had to go to a coin dealer, and he offered me much less than the market rate for what gold was. We were in a tight spot.
There's a buyer's and seller's rate when it comes to that.
Yeah.
That's you can't get over that. That's the way it is. I'm not going to buy it from you unless I can make a profit off of it right off the bat. That's just
and who would? Who would? Businesses are in business to make money, so I understand that. But man, we got financially raped on that. We were in a tight spot, so it was one of those we had to.
I just keep gold and silver now just in case shit hits the fan and the money's worthless at that point. That's the only reason why I keep it. I won't try to exchange it. I just hold on to it just because one day I have this funny feeling that the U.S. dollar is going to be worth less than toilet paper at that point.
Toilet paper it had some value about a year ago. Folks in the chat are saying they keep silver. That's against federal law. Is it against federal law for me to go into a bank and try to exchange gold? We're not on the gold standard anymore, so.
I mean, you figure a bank would be in the business of that. You know, like, hey, we can make some money off this. We'll buy it at the buyer's, seller's rate, and we'll flip it and make the money off of it.
Or give me like a 1%, pay 1%. Okay.
Well, yes. Something along the lines, or like, hey, let me take a loan out and you keep this as collateral, and when I pay the loan back,
I get my gold back.
Keep the loan relative, like at a 5%. Like I'll give you,
Baconator's on a roll tonight. He goes, I also have some 2x4s.
that a couple months ago I see some gas.
Is that price back down now on lumber?
Not really. No. It's not as bad as it was there for a while because the coof. I gotta correct myself here. The coof caused a lot of border issues with Canada and the United States, and we get most of our timber and lumber from our great brothers up north.
Yep.
And it caused issues. That's the reason why it was insane there for a while.
You know what's crazy? You know what's crazy here's what's crazy and inconsistent. If I want to fly to Canada, which I am going to do next month, I have to take a COOF test, and I have to be a negative in order to get into Canada. If I were to fly to, let's say, Burlington, Vermont, rent a car and drive across the border, I don't have to take a COOF test. Yeah.
That's got to be like some stupid freaking FFA, right? Not FFA, Federal Aviation. It is FAA. It's gonna be some stupid regulation they got because the government just pulling.
Everything is stupid, and I'm gonna calm you down, and I'm gonna requote your words. And we live in clown world, and that's just the way it is. That is the explanation for shit.
I was just about to start screaming. Da, 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 da. I feel like I got a vein about the pot.
Oh my gosh, let's change the subject. Let's not get people triggered. Let's talk about beauty contests. Miss Universe is coming up. I think that's going to be aired tomorrow. Is that tomorrow?
Oh no, I don't pay attention to that.
Neither do I. It's just one of those things I saw.
But camels, I do pay attention.
You like the camels? I like the camels. I like the camels too. So Saudi Arabia. This is crazy. I did not know this was a thing. I honestly, until I saw this story, I did not know that this was a thing. Saudi authorities have conducted their biggest ever crackdown on camel beauty contestants that received Botox injections with other artificial touch-ups. 40 camels were disqualified from this annual pageant of this year. Saudi Arabia's popular King Abdulaziz Camel Festival, which kicked off earlier this month, invites breeders of the most beautiful camels to compete for some $66 million in prize money. I did not know this was a thing.
You didn't know that? Really?
I didn't know that they were. I mean, we have the stock show and rodeo here in Texas. I don't know of any cows getting Botox or anything.
No, I mean that's different. Animal husbandry is a really big thing in the Middle East. Like if you have horses, if you're like rich and affluent, and you breed horses, like some families have like logs that are like thicker than our normal tax code, I guess.
Should be one page, but it's like 1,000 million pages.
But I mean, they've got like records back to like 600 years ago, like this horse and that horse, and I was like, okay, cool, that's legit. You keep good records of
Or it's like dog breeding. Dog breeding is a thing.
Some of them camels, oof. I mean, I hate camels. I hate them. Some of them camels are nice looking.
They're just big ass dogs. I just never said, okay, that's a good looking camel. I've never seen a camel going, man, that motherfucker's ugly. They all kind of look the same to me.
I mean, looked at a horse and go, dang, that's a nice looking horse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of the same concept.
Well, with muscle structure and the way that they stand and stuff, yeah, I guess that would look nice. But man, these guys are. I mean, you got to do what you got to do to make the most money out of your investment. Botox injections, facelifts, and other cosmetic alterations to make the camels more attractive are strictly prohibited. Jurors decide the winner based on the shape of the camels' heads, necks, humps, dress, and postures. Judges at the month-long festival in the desert northeast of the Saudi capital, Riyadh, are escalating their clampdown on artificially enhanced camels. Like they get. When I read that, I'm thinking, okay, camels with a boob job. Like that's not a real hump. Those are fake humps. My hump, my hump, my humps. My lovely lady lumps. This year, authorities discovered dozens of breeders that had stretched out the lips and the noses of the camels using hormones to boost the beast's muscles, or injected the camels' heads and lips with Botox to make them bigger. Inflated body parts with rubber bands were used as fillers to relax their faces. Okay. Just...
It's like that, like there's a goat breed somewhere. I think it's Syria or Iran. It's like, it looks like a pug. This whole face is just like...
Is it smushed up?
It's the most heinous looking thing on a planet.
The Humpty Dance is your chance.
So ugly it actually looks cute, kind of in a weird way. But I'm trying to remember the name of it now. I'm trying to Google it and look at it at the same time. But they do crazy kind of contests like that, whatever country it is. I think it might be Syria. It might.
Syrians are kind of crazy. I have no idea what they're up to.
But no, it's the same concept. You just find an animal and you breed it till it gets its animal husbandry. That's what it's called.
Until it looks like you want it to look like, and then it makes things.
Yeah. Animal farm.
Animal farm. All right. So last week we talked about Joel Osteen and a plumber that found like envelopes, hundreds of envelopes of cash that fell out of a wall that he had to break into to fix a toilet that was loose. I think the toilet was loose, so they called in this plumber. The plumber did an investigation, tried to repair the stuff, and came across a shitload of cash. A shitload of cash. So A plumber who discovered sacks of cash and checks inside of a wall at a celebrity's televangelist Joel Osteen's Lakewood church last month has been awarded $20,000 by Crime Stoppers of Houston. The envelopes were discovered behind a loose toilet by the plumber that he was doing repairs on at the church on November 10th. 7 years after the church reported $600,000 in cash had been stolen from a safe. Evidence, this is a quote, evidence from the recovered checks suggests that the discovery of what was connected oh my gosh, this is horribly written. Evidence from the recovered checks suggests that the discovery of what was connected to the March 2014, this robbery happened in 2014, and basically evidence suggests that this is related to that robbery. Back then, Crime Stoppers of Houston offered a cash reward of up to $5,000, and Lakewood Church added a supplemental award of $20,000, bringing the total to $25,000 for anyone with information that led to an arrest. After years of no word of the case, Lakewood turned that sum into a charitable donation to the Crime Stoppers of Houston. Following news of the discovery behind the church wall, Crime Stoppers CEO Rania, man, I'm going to butcher her name, Mancarios asked the Crime Stoppers Executive Committee if the organization could gift the $20,000 to the Good Samaritan who had turned in the money, and she immediately received approval. So the plumber, and I had lost some faith in him because he had made some statements after he found the money. He called the cops. He did the right thing. Cop showed up, did an investigation. He made a statement before this statement was released, and said that I think I deserve a reward. So I started losing a little bit of faith in him because he was like almost like, "Hey, what's in it for me now?" So I was kind of like, this guy kind of sounds like a dick. But yeah, dude's getting he got $20,000.
Finder's fee.
Oh, and William White says he probably got insurance money too. Last week we reported, and I'm doing this on the fly here, remembering what I talked about last week. An insurance claim was made, and insurance claims on donations is covered. So Lakewood Church didn't lose a dime. They didn't lose a dime.
See, I'm just waiting for a further investigation into this because this is going to uncover some really weird stuff, I think.
You've got a preacher who has, and this I reported this last week, 42,000 and some change, or 43,000 parishioners per week come to his church. The dude talks. He's inspiring. I've heard him before. I've listened to him before. I mean, he can convince me to do whatever. I mean, he's very influential. He's very influential to do the right thing. He's not going to say, "Hey, I want you to get a tattoo of Jesus on your chest." No, I wouldn't do that. But the way that he speaks, he can convince me to do better. He can inspire me to do better as a human being. So, the dude, he can talk and he inspires a lot of people. But if this is something inside where, hey, we're going to take some of these donations and just kind of stash them away, that's jacked up. If he's guilty, it sucks, because you're really going to disappoint a lot of the parishioners. But the dude drives around in a Ferrari and he lives in a fucking house that is massive. It's massive.
To me, it's sacrilege, but just like, don't get into that.
Or it's like, and we have a lot of these televangelists up here that are just, parishioners that are low economic status, and the dude's flying around in a G6. You know, it's tax free. And I know we say taxation is theft, but man, when is it time to tax the churches, man?
You know what? When they decide to tax unions,
right?
I will draw that line right there. When you say we're going to tax the churches, tax unions as well, because they're considered nonprofit just as much. And I mean, look at Jimmy Hoffa and all these. Oh, I'm bringing Jimmy Hoffa up. Jeez. I mean, no, you got to draw a line somewhere at that point. No? I mean, at that point, just make nonprofits not nonprofits at that point. I mean, people don't realize, like, some of these churches, like community churches, actually get out and do things for the community.
Oh, they absolutely do. Surely do. They do.
This guy, I don't like him for some reason. I just don't. I think Harvey is what made me not like him, because the whole, oh, I don't want to let people into the church because, you know, I'm afraid the carpets could get ruined kind of crap. And you got Mattress Mac, a real community Houstonian at this point. He's like, yeah, I just go crash on my displays. I don't give a crap. He's done that twice. He did that during the power outage and during Harvey.
Oh, you mean the power outage that we had last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
He had generators to run and he kept people warm. I mean, who, in my eyes, is a better? I don't even like to say it like that, but
human being. Who is the better human being?
Yes. There you go. That's the best way to word it, because I don't want to get into the religious thing. But,
yeah. Dude, I got nothing against religion. I really don't, but I really want you to walk the talk. I want you to, follow your own edicts. Fuck, man. No kidding. Baconator says tax every church for 1 week. National debt gone. You might be pretty close.
Yeah, it's still theft at that point.
It is still theft. It is still theft, and I'm not going to say but, because that just negates everything that I've said before that. I think it should be put upon Joel Osteen. Hello, talking to you, Joel. Do the right thing. Quit sucking up all that cash. I mean, make enough to pay for your shit and then give the rest away. What would Jesus do, right?
Yeah. Take care of the community. There's
take care of the people you preach to do this. You're telling folks to give up their hard-earned cash, and you're sitting there driving around in a Ferrari and living in a big-ass house.
I've been in this.
You know what grinds my gears? So speaking of,
as bad as the government.
speaking of upstanding citizens, let's talk about the boss of the year. The boss of the year. Who do you think the boss of the year is?
That asshole that laid off 700 people after
Oh my God, this motherfucker. I mean, this guy. Better.com CEO Vishal Garg announced the mortgage company will be laying off about 9% of its workforce over a Zoom conversation on Wednesday, abruptly informing more than 900 employees on the call that they were being terminated just before the holidays. What an awesome dude. Look at that smile. What a great looking dude.
He's enjoying it.
He said, quote, go ahead.
No, I said this is where people get the lines like mixed up between pure capitalism and communism kind of thing, because you get a lot of socialists out there to be like, assholes like this shouldn't be able to do this, blah 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 blah. Yeah, this is right as but this is crony capitalism at its finest at that point. Like, I don't even think Rockefeller would have done some shit like that. That's just grody as hell.
So he said during the call, he said, quote, if you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group that is being laid off. Your employment here is terminated effective immediately. The dick? Oh my gosh.
It's kind of like that what was a South Park episode where I don't know if you remember the quintuplets or whatever it is from like Romania or some shit like that. And,
no.
Kyle's dad comes out and he's like, hey, if you have a grandmother, step forward. And then everyone steps forward. It's like, not you girls. And they start crying.
Oh God. He then said employees could expect an email from HR detailing benefits and severance information. And then he said, quote, having to conduct layoffs is gut-wrenching, especially at this time of year. However, a fortress balance sheet and a reduced and focused workforce together sets us up to play offense going into a radically evolving home ownership market. This company, those were fucking buzzwords, and it pisses me off because I hate buzzwords. And we're going to talk about that after this.
Buzzwords.
Dude he's just like blah, 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 all this vomit coming out of his mouth. And he's young dude, looks like mid-30s. He's just like, meh, fuck 900 people. But that's only 9% of his workforce. What's that?
Karma's a bitch. All I gotta say is karma's a bitch. That's all I gotta say about that.
He's Indian, so yeah. They're big on the karma thing.
I totally believe in that, 100%. I've witnessed instant karma in my life. Witnessed it, so I believe in it. And he's got it coming around to him at that point.
He said in another quote, he says, this is the second time in my career that I'm doing this, and I don't want to do this. The last time I did it, I cried. Among those fired were a diversity, equity, and inclusion recruiting team.
Well. Okay, I have mixed feelings here.
Right? I know.
I just, my whole tune just changed. Wait. So he was just cleaning up, among
the 900.
Oh, okay, among the 900. Okay, I got you. All right, he was just cleaning up some.
That was in his previous layoff.
Oh, his previous. Okay.
Yeah, and this whole 900 people was another layoff. The SoftBank-backed mortgage lender announced in May that it was going public through SPAC, and last week received $750 million in cash as a part of the deal. The company is prepared to have more than $1 billion on its balance sheet. Garg has been involved in controversy before, as evidenced by an email sent to staff that was obtained by Forbes. He says, quote, you are too damn slow. You are a bunch of dumb dolphins. So stop it. Stop it. Stop it right now. You are embarrassing me. I don't know what that was in relation to, but that was a copy of the email. The Daily Beast reported in August that one of Garg's most loyal lieutenants received a massive perk package, such as millions of dollars worth of stock options that could be vested immediately, not comparable to other employees. That person was later placed on administrative leave for bullying employees. So yeah. Better.com, I guess you don't want to deal with them.
Don't deal with it. Because if they'll treat their employees like that, they'll treat their customers just as quickly like that. That's
or anybody. Business aside, it just they would treat anybody like that. I was gonna talk about.
Step on necks.
Right.
I mean, I understand the whole concept of running a business. Every now and then, you got to step on someone's neck in order to make the company run. But that's like, I don't know, Gestapo firing line kind of shit right there.
Yeah, the dude, you get what you give, and you were talking about karma earlier. I think you get what you give. So you have this immense. It's like Joel Osteen. It's like this Garg dude. You have this immense opportunity to do good things for people, and you choose not to. And I think that's going to come back and bite you in the ass. And you'll call it karma. I just think it's just the cycle of life. I don't know. I think some executives just resigned after his actions, they're like, this is fucked up. I'm going somewhere else. I've really never, until I read this story, I've never heard of better.com as far as a mortgage lender.
I think it was sensationalized by the media a little bit because of, the cruel treatment. Some of these, there's a specific individual, what's his name? The penis rocket guy.
Bezos.
Yes. He's notorious for treating his employees horrible. I don't even know where I was going with that at that point, but yeah, like this is the future Bezos at that point, or whatever his name is.
What Bezos did was he put out a set of goals, and I think, in my opinion, and this is my opinion, that it was misconstrued, and there was just he put out a goal, and it was I don't know if he said these specific things, but I think it was misconstrued by division managers. And it just has become like this Nazi. Baconator says Bezos is straight up a tyrant on his employees. I understand that you have some goals and requirements for employees, and I'm not apologetic to the way that he does his things, but would it be unreasonable to say that he will put out, as a CEO, as an owner of an entire company, saying, these are the things that I want to happen. And then it's up to the division managers and below to incorporate this. And in order to incorporate that, they have to be fucking Nazis. So is it Bezos' fault or is it his manager's fault? I have no idea. I've never worked for Amazon. I have no idea. All I know is that guy just went up to, I think space or subspace, suborbital, orbital, whatever the fuck.
NASA reinstate. I love that. That's the best thing. Oh, you have to be so high to be an astronaut. Okay, I guess. I mean, technically, at one point in my life, I could probably be an astronaut being that high, but I'm just saying.
So we were talking about buzzwords. I hope I have this graphic up. That's not it. That's the snake house. Guy wanted to get rid of snakes, so he lit his house on fire. If we have time, we can. He tried to smoke him out, and it didn't work out. So let's talk about buzzwords, since we're talking about like corporate shit. So moving forward at the end of the year, many folks, myself included, are wrapped up in the end of year performance evaluations. I just went through this, and it's horrible. It sucks. It really, really, really sucks. The Atlantic, that publication, recently asked its readers to rank the following buzzwords as fuzzy speak. In other words, try to avoid these this year. This you don't work, Pookie, right? You don't go to a 9 to 5?
No.
So here I work for a large conglomerate, and we have to do these yearly performance evaluations. There's the beginning of the year goal setting, and then there's the mid-year evaluations. At the end of the year, it's like we're just gonna wrap this up, and we're gonna talk about your performance. And I say that in a crappy radio voice because that's what it seems to me that's happening. So there's these words, these buzzwords that people use, and these are the same words that are used in like OERs, NCOERs, and
bullets, yes.
Bullet points. These words, stakeholder. I'm a stakeholder in this. Move the needle. I've moved the needle. Pushback, at capacity, robust, huddle, optics, disruption. These words are just fucking cringeworthy. Silo. It's a win-win. I've earned pain points. I've earned pain points. I've never seen this. I do read a lot of my guys, like evaluations and stuff that they come up through me. I've never seen pain points, so this is cool. Debrief, loop in. I've never seen loop in.
Behoove.
Caveat. Hop on a call, value proposition, liaise. I've seen liaise a lot. All that means is I was a part of the connection between these two teams. They use the word liaise, but then they use it like a lot in the paragraph that they were trying to touch base. Close the loop. Deep dive. Deep dive is another one. I did a deep dive. Like I fucking Googled shit and figured stuff out. They call that a deep dive. Double click. I double clicked on this. And learned more about the problem. Let me see. Ping. Let me ping you. I'm going to ping you.
Ooh.
I'm going to oh my gosh. I hear that a lot.
It's an IT thing.
I'll ping you after I'll ping you after lunch and then we can get together.
It's an IT thing, and it was so cringe to me when I'd hear it. I'd be like, oh, really?
Think outside the box. I've increased the bandwidth of our team. Ooh, the word bandwidth. I lean in. I'm a change agent. That's an old one. Yeah.
Lead from the front. That's another one that was...
Pivot. I've unpacked the packet, and I've figured this out. And I've taken a holistic approach to solving problems. What the fuck does that mean?
This is what happens when management has too much time on their hands.
What is a holistic approach to problem solving? I don't know.
1984.
and then that fantastic novel behind your shoulder that says Animal Farm from George Orwell.
Yes. If you haven't read it, please read it.
Anyway, everybody, thank you all for just hanging out, man. We've had a great conversation. Pookie had to pee, and that was kind of funny seeing him dance. Hey, it's been about an hour since that last dance, so you're kind of probably feeling it now. So don't forget to tune into Pop Culture Warrior the next 2 Tuesdays. Producer and writer Michael Jamin, I hope I'm saying his name right, Jamin or Jamin, will be hanging out with CQ and Radar on Pop Culture Warrior. Michael has been writing for television since 1996 and has many shows under his belt, including and not limited to Just Shoot Me, Tacoma FD, Rules of Engagement, and Beavis and Butthead. And then on the 21st, director and writer Matt Haley will be on Pop Culture Warrior with CQ and Radar to talk about his work writing comics and directing various superhero-related shows. Yeah. Good show, dude. Thank you all for hanging out. I know you got things to do, so I would like to invite you to go ahead and do them because I think this is the end of the show. Do you got any parting words, sir?
Like I always say, and I say this almost every week, don't drink and drive, don't beat your spouse, don't kick your dog, and just be a decent human being to each other.
We got the holiday weekends coming up, and we're going to do one more show next week, and then I'm going to be off for a while. Think about this. You're going to go out and you're going to party with your friends. The cost of an Uber to get you back to your house or your hotel is a fuckload cheaper than fighting a DUI charge. And it's a lot safer than potentially getting into an accident and injuring or killing someone else. So please weigh those consequences when you decide to go out and party. This is it's an interesting time of year. Everyone goes out and tries to celebrate. And they do. And that's great. You go to a friend's house, and we used to have, my dad used to do the tree hopping over the Christmas holidays. So they would go to like one person's house, have some cocktails, have a party, and they would go to someone else's house and have cocktails. It's like a thunder run. We called it a thunder run in Korea. I guess my dad did thunder runs in the neighborhood and shit. And, it would suck for you to lose a family member because someone chose to drive rather than call the most accessible, get you home safe method, which is Uber or whatever else. What else? My mind goes to Uber. What else is there?
You got Lyft.
Lyft.
You
Yeah,
got
there
taxis.
you go. Taxis, no shit.
Have a designated driver. It's not really that hard to do. You always get that one friend that doesn't drink. Bring them along. They might not look like they're having fun. Just
You know what's fucked up is the reason I've got disability is because my designated driver fell asleep at the wheel on the way home. So, oh my gosh. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much for being here. We're going to be back for one more show next week on Friday Night Freedom. And I love you all. And we're going to be out of here. Thank you all for being here. Victor, Nancy's Thunder Run resulted in a winning streak for her party. I paid for a wife and got her a license. I'm all good. Parting words, don't say winning streak in the context. All right, everybody. Thank you all for being here. And we'll see you next Friday. Don't forget to tune in on Monday for the Monday edition. Tuesdays is Pop Culture Warrior with CQ and Radar. Thursdays is Sergeant's Time with Ice and Spanky. I think Ice has a higher voice. He has a higher, just like maybe one step higher. Spanky. And then we're back here on Friday for Friday Night Freedom. All right, everybody. Thank you all very much. We're out of here.
This is WTF Nation Radio.
My friend came to the door. She said, well, I was on the phone cooking me and my baby some breakfast. And she said, hey, something wrong. It's popping. I said, what? She said, yeah. I said, no. So the girl come downstairs. She come out her apartment with her baby with no shoes on. I said, oh, girl, it's cold outside. She said, something ain't right. I said, oh, man. She said, oh, man, the building is on fire. I said, no, what? I got my 3 kids and we bounced out. We ain't gonna be in no fire, not today.
The voice of U.S. Army, WTF Moments. This is WTF Nation. This is WTF Nation Radio.
Here's a shot out of a cannon. Oprah, Barbara Walters, your wife. You gotta fuck one, marry one, kill one. Go.
I think we're done here. Thank you.